Hey, this is Luke with Saltstrong. In this video, I'm going to share two just simple and easy tricks to make sure that you're maximizing your gear. This is all about spinning tackle and maximizing your effectiveness for catching sea trout, redfish, snook, flounder up in the bays and up in the inland waterways. So I see this all the time, is that a lot of members and subscribers are just asking about, hey, I'm not casting very far. We're doing a lot of casting contests, and hey, how can I increase my casting? And so both of these tips involve casting, just as a hint, because it's so important. Casting is what controls, obviously, our accuracy and most importantly, distance. If we're fishing open flats like this, we have a lot of grass flats, there's potholes kind of scattered around, and it's really whoever can cast the furthest in most cases is going to catch the most fish. It's really about covering ground. And so we need to do everything we can to maximize our casting distance and casting effectiveness. And so the two tips is, number one, go with light line. When in doubt, go light. So I pretty much always go 10-pound braid. So 10-pound braid is plenty strong. The knot contest, actually with 10-pound braid going up to 20-pound braid, really isn't that much difference in the casting performance is. So today in particular, I went out and I brought one of these reels. I got a couple of these BGs recently. I rigged one up with 20-pound braid and one up with 10-pound braid, and I actually brought my 20-pound braid out today. And when I was casting, it was painful. It was because I've been accustomed to 10-pound braid, and it was just really painful going to 20. I did a casting contest a couple years back on 20-pound braid versus 10-pound braid, all else equal. In the 10-pound braid, it was like 20% further, which equates to about a football field of extra distance every 15 to 20 casts. There's not much in fishing you can do to guarantee you're going to catch more fish than to cover that much more water. So tip number one, go with a lighter braid. 10-pound is plenty. You could even go lighter than that if you're targeting just sea trout and redfish on the open flats. So tip number two is manage the actual gap of your reel, the tip of the reel to the actual braid itself. The smaller the gap, the further you can cast. That line has less distance to travel. I'll pull this other reel up. This one needs to be re-spooled. You can see that the gap is pretty significant, right? We're talking about the edge of this spool. I'll go to the top of the edge of this spool up top to the outer rim of the reel. That's the distance that line has to travel to go over that reel and now shoot out the rod. The smaller that distance, the further you can cast. It's really that simple. But just so you know, you don't want to get too much line, because the less the gap there is, especially if you have your line going over the gap, you're going to have significant risk of getting wind knots, those frustrating wind knots. So there's a fine balance there. So in general, I like to have about a 1/16 of an inch from the outer edge of the spool to the outer edge of the line itself. And just so you know, in case you see this issue, this came up and it was too late, I was already spooling, but you can see there's a big gap here, or the spool is really, the line is kind of aimed up. What I need to fix that is just one of those little washers. They come with the reels. All I need to do is put a little washer on there, and then next time I re-spool, or I can just take the boat out and let all the line out, and that'll make sure that it's more even. But even still, this still works. I've been using this for a while, and it's actually doing great. But it'd just be a little bit more effective if that line was loaded equal. So I just wanted to give that tip. But again, two things. Really, number one thing is just maximizing your distance. Even if you're using live bait, especially if you're fishing from shore or from a pier, the further you can cast, the more fish you're going to catch. And so want to emphasize, go light on line, and then also manage that gap, manage that spool gap. All right, so just wanted to pass those tips along. If you have any questions at all, leave a comment down below. If you have any other tips, we'd love to hear from you as well. So leave a comment down below. Always great to hear from you. And if you're new to Saltstrong, just know that we're the best online fishing club in America, because we actually guarantee you'll be catching more fish while saving money. You'll get that from our premium education, our exclusive online community, and huge discounts on all the tackle you need. To learn more, go to saltstrong.com. Otherwise, hope to see you again soon.